Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Pompberry, and today I'm turning myself into a cute Krampus. Now, last year I actually did a Krampus look that remains one of my favorite looks to this day, and you can watch it by clicking up here. And I love this look so much that I turned it into a sticker design recently. This is 100% shameless self-promo, but if you want to check out my stickers, I'm going to leave the link down below. But this year I wanted to do a different Krampus look, but last year's look was using mainly blacks and pinks, so this year I wanted to go with whites and reds. So that's what I'm going to get into today, so let's jump straight into it. But before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So I've gone ahead and put on my little wig cap just to get my hair out of my face, and I'm wearing a turtleneck just because I don't want to deal with painting my neck. You could totally skip this and just paint your neck black or whatever color you want to match the look, but I decided to go with the turtleneck because then I can just focus on doing makeup on my face. And to start, I'm going to use the Mercier Hydrating Primer. Now this might be a little bit fancy for a Krampus, but my skin is really dry right now because of the cold and whatnot, and I just want something that's really moisturizing and hydrating to help the base look as best as it can. And speaking of skin going through it, my next video after this one, I'm actually going to show you how I remove really heavy makeup. Once I'm done filming this, I'm going to film me removing everything, and I'll show you how I've been treating my skin recently, because let me tell you, winter does some things to your skin. And I'm going to be doing a completely white base. So as always, I'm using the Mehron Clown White Light. It is very important that this is the light version. I do not recommend using the regular Clown White. It's super sticky and thick and has a really weird consistency. I do not like using it. If someone has figured out how to use it without it being all like just weird, I don't know how else to explain it, please let me know. I only use the light version. This isn't sticky, it's just like a regular cream makeup, and I'm using a damp beauty blender to apply this. You'll see that it applies super evenly. I know that white bases can be like really hard to achieve, but this is my foolproof method of doing a completely solid white base that isn't streaky, isn't patchy, and it works every single time. Now that I am very white, I'm going to powder everything down because this being a cream color, it doesn't set. So I'm just taking the RCMA No Color Powder in my little Anna Sui powder holder, and I'm going to heavily powder my entire face. And oh god, I shouldn't talk while I do this. Oh, this is so much powder. And you want to make sure there are no creases on your eyelids or under your eyelids. Oh god, I feel like I can't move my face. There's that much powder on there. And I haven't worried about painting my ears because I'm going to be putting on prosthetic ears, so I don't have to worry about them. Now I'm just taking a little bit more powder on a brush, and I'm just going to make sure everything is very well set, especially around the eyes. And then I'm going to dust off the excess and also make sure it gets into all the little nooks and crannies of the nose. But oh, this feels miserable. But unfortunately, it is a necessary step. Normally after powdering, I like to go in with white eyeshadow to do some further highlighting. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but you can go whiter than this. I'm gonna wait to do that after I've contoured. As always for contouring a white base, I'm gonna use the grays in the Lunatic Cosmetics Labs Contour Palette Volume 2. It's these grays right here. I'm gonna start with the lightest gray and build up from there. You always wanna be careful contouring on a white base because it can go really strong really quickly. I'm just going to kind of round out my cheeks a little bit. So instead of trying to really define my cheekbones, I kind of just want to round my cheeks. So I'm going like this in a U shape almost. Oh, my nose is itchy. But I don't want it to be a harsh line either. I want to make sure I blend this out pretty well. So just doing circular motions after I've applied that line. I'm just going in and just little circular motions to make sure it's well blended out. Now I'm also going to take this and contour my temples. I'm going to be darkening this in a little bit, but I'm using this shade as like my transition color, so it makes it easier to blend. I get a more seamless blend from the gray to the white by using a lighter tone first. I'm also going to take this gray and go right here from my eye to my temple. It's like from the outer corner of the eye towards the temple and kind of into the crease crease. This just helps to define my bone structure a little bit better, because when you paint yourself completely white, or completely one color for that matter, it really just blanks you out and washes you out. You lose any sort of dimension in your face, and so it's a good idea to bring that dimension back with a bit of contouring. I mean, you can already tell what difference that makes. I'm not doing this to necessarily change my bone structure, but to just define it a little bit better. Then I'm also going to take this from my eyebrow down the sides of the bridge of my nose. And I'm going to be doing a very, very precise contouring of my nose a little bit later on. This is just an initial sort of base. I'm also going to do a tiny bit under my bottom lip and under my chin. Now I'm just going to define everything a little bit more using this medium gray right here. So I'm going to start at the very edge, like at my hairline, and then slowly blend that into the previous contour. I don't want a really harsh line with this because this is a much darker gray. I just want to apply it at the very edge of my face and then slowly blend it towards the center. And I'm going to do that for all the contours that I did with the lighter gray. Okay, I lowered the brightness a little bit so that you could see the details a little bit better, because I felt the white was so reflective that it was just kind of blanking everything out. But now you can see the gradient from the gray to the white, and it's still a little bit patchy in some areas. Like here, my skin isn't great, so the blending isn't great either. I've got like some dryness and some bumps, but I'm going to perfect that a little bit further using the Melt Waiting Room palette, and I'm going to be using the color Sandworm. This is an off-white. It's like a very, very, very light gray, and I'm going to use that just along the edge. Let's see if that works. I haven't used this shadow for this purpose before, but I just want to use that to kind of help blend the gray even further into the white and to smooth this area a little bit more. I think it is working actually. So that's good. I'm gonna be really sad when I run out of this color, because y'all know I always hit pan in my white eyeshadows because of looks like this, because I use them for highlighting and setting and whatnot. Oh yeah, that really helps make this transition even smoother. And do that along here as well, just anywhere that can use a little more blending. And then last but not least, using the Sugar Pill pressed shadow in the color Taco. This is a pure white. I'm going to just highlight the center of my forehead. I just really want to make sure certain points are completely as white as they possibly can be. Here on the cheekbones, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to go in with some red, but I just want the forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and then I'll do under the contour here as well. And the rest will be covered up with red, like my chin and my cheeks and everything, so I don't really have to go and whiten it further. I feel like with red, you can't go wrong with Sugar Pill's Love Plus, so I'm going to go straight in with it. I'm thinking about maybe using a transition shade, but we'll see. First, I'm going to place this down. I'm going to start with the outer corner of my eye, going into my crease and going under my eye as well. And this red is like a cooler red. You might be able to tell that it tends cooler a little bit. And what I mean by that is that there's more blue than there is yellow in this red, because when I blend it out, you don't really see orange, you see kind of pink. And that's kind of a way to tell that this is a blue-based red. And I'm bringing it down under my eye, but also blending it onto the cheeks. And you'll see when it blends out, it blends pink. And I don't know if I want that. I think I want to warm this up a touch. I'm gonna go with the BH Sweet Shop Cherry on Top palette, and this is their, I don't want to say it's a red palette because I don't know if I consider any of these colors red. This one here, Tarte, I'm going to dip in. I feel like it's more orange than it is red, but I'm going to use that to warm this up a little bit. And I actually don't think I've used this color before, so I don't know if it's going to ruin absolutely everything, but I really hope not. It seems, oh god, super pigmented. What have I done? But I'm just going to keep blending that onto my cheeks. Weird. I thought it was going to read a little warmer. I mean, it is a little warmer, but it's still blending out kind of pink. Maybe it's because I have Love Plus under there. Not quite sure. Just going to slowly, very slowly blend this because this can go very out of hand very, very quickly. And I don't want that. This is definitely leaning a lot warmer than I wanted. Like, to me, this just looks pink. I might have to mix in some orange in there. Ooh, what if I use Mexicana from the Melt Vida palette? Let's try that and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's kind of the red I was looking for. Maybe I should have just used that instead. Oh, but this deepens it a little bit, but that's fine, that's fine. I will have her mix a touch of Flame Point, just like a touch around this area here to warm it up so it's not so pink. There, that kind of knocks the pink down a little bit. And I might even switch brushes because I feel like I've got the pink red in here and I want to steer away from that. So I'm just going to grab another brush. I'm going to take a little bit more of Flame Point and just do kind of the edges to warm all this up. And just slowly blending. Okay, I found that a better combination is definitely using Mexicana and Flame Point to blend it out, but also packed on top as well. And that really brightens the red, makes it a brighter, warmer red. And now that I've done this, you really should be careful doing red on white because it can get out of control very, very quickly. I'm going to use that also on my chin. I'm just going to use the excess that's on my brush to start with and slowly blend that out. And then I'll pack some more product on where I want it to be the strongest. Just starting with the excess on the brush really helps to get a nice and even blend. And then once I feel I'm not really getting much from the brush, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the color and then start at the bottom. And also one thing to note is that you want to have a very, very soft touch when doing this. Otherwise you can move your base and create patches in it. So your touch has to be very, very light and gentle. And I'm concentrating this color just right at the bottom of the chin. Then I'm going to grab the orange and pack that right on top and then blend the orange out. And those two colors mixed together will create the nice bright red that I've got going on. And I know that this is very, very strong. Like, trust me, I know that. But I will have a red lip and I'm going to darken the eyes further. I'm also going to make the nose red so it won't look so stark in a second. But this combination of red on white I think is really, really pretty. You can see many examples in Asian culture, especially like Japanese culture. You'll get makeup that's red against white and it just looks always so striking and so stunning. And if you find yourself kind of having difficulties blending the edge without adding too much color, you can always grab some of the white eyeshadow and use that on a different brush to help blend the edges. Now I'm going to take a really small fluffy brush and I'm going to take the red color and I'm going to take it from my crease kind of towards the bridge of my nose and then going around. And I'm leaving the inner corner white. I'm leaving that gap right there. And then I'm blending that onto the nose. Just going low and slow with this is the trick. This little detail just makes it look a little more painterly and it's a look I really like. I've done this in a few other looks before, but what actually inspired me to do this again, because I haven't done this like little detail in a really long time, was a recreation of my Krampus look by Justin James. He goes by Gorgeous on Instagram. And he did a boy version of my Krampus look and he did something similar to this, but he went dark with it instead. And I was like, oh yeah, I used to do that and I haven't done it in a long time. So I felt like doing it for this look. And I'm going to really define the nose contour. I'm going to take that red on the same little brush and I'm going to start here at the bottom. I just want to do like a pointy nose. I want to make my nose seem longer. So I'm going to extend this down here and you'll see this point goes all the way down. And once I have the shape I like, I'm just going to intensify that little by little. I'm going to use a darker color later. This is just kind of the base. And then I'm eventually connecting this to this little shading I created. Now I'm just going to take the orange and add that right on top. Oh, that might have been too much. Oh god. What have I done? I know it's a lot. It looks very weird, but trust the process. That's all I'm gonna say. While I've got this little brush, I'm just going to do the outer corners of my lips. I'm also going to use the excess that's on my brush just here at the tip and carefully blending it upwards on the bridge because I want the whole nose to be kind of reddish. Well, very reddish. And I do realize that the day to celebrate the Krampus was December 5th, but I did not plan ahead. I'm not that organized, okay? That's why I'm doing the Krampus so late into the month. I think this is actually the only festive look I've done this month. Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't do that many festive looks this year, huh? I do have one more look planned, but it's not Christmas themed, it's just like winter themed. Yeah, I guess with the launch of like the Beetlejuice collection and stuff, I got more focused on that rather than doing any Christmas looks. Now I'm gonna start deepening the eyes, and I'm gonna go in with the Sugar Pill capsule collection, and this is the second capsule, I believe, and I'm gonna be using this shade right here called Young Blood. I think it's kind of the perfect color to go and deepen around the eyes. Oh no, fallout. I cannot have fallout with this look. That is cannot have that happen. So I'm going to make sure to tap away the excess that's on my brush and then just use that on a very teeny tiny brush. This is the little brush that comes with the Dose of Colors palettes. And by the way, I actually have a code with Dose of Colors for the month of December. I'm gonna leave it right here on screen. I believe it's pompberry 10 and it is valid till the end of the month. So if you're thinking about getting anything from them, be sure to save some cash because who doesn't like doing that? But yeah, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I wish that they sold this brush like in bulk because it is the best little brush ever. It's dual ended, which I don't usually like, but this brush is just so perfect. On one end, it's the teeniest, tiniest fluffy brush, and on the other, it's the teeniest, tiniest pencil brush. So it's perfect for doing like little detail work and going like right into the crease when you need it. This is deepening the eye quite well. It's still keeping it quite warm, but just adding a little more definition. Now I'm going to use the other side of this brush and the same color, and I'm just going to deepen this line right here. You see why I love this brush? It's just so tiny, and you can do such great little detail work with it. On Instagram, you guys said that you wanted me to show you my favorite products from Dose of Colors. Let me know if you do want me to do that. I keep forgetting to do it. I meant to do it in my stories, but I could maybe feature it for Vlogmas. I don't know till when I'm going to be doing Vlogmas, but I might extend it past Christmas just because I haven't been keeping up with it lately, so I might extend it a little bit. So yeah, just let me know. And then I'm also going to use this to really help define the tip of the nose. And this is a type of contour that it only really works from the front. Doesn't really work from the side. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously I'm not going to leave that stripe there. I'm going to blend this out, but it works mostly from the front angle. I've actually reduced the tip of the nose a little bit, and I'm just going to blend the sides out as much as I can, and then blending some more red on the very tip. I kind of want to blur that tip out a little bit so that you don't see that super sharp line. Still want the definition there, but I want it to be a little more blended out, and I'm using the orange to do this. I think it'll look a little bit nicer this way. Yeah, for sure. I'm blending it like onto my nostrils as well, around the nostrils. Now I'm going to take the Waiting Room palette again, and I'm going to go in with the color Obituary very, very delicately on the very tip of this brush, and I'm just going to contour my nostrils. I want to really define them. Oh god, that color is way dark, but that's fine. I'll blend it out using the orange or something. But I just really want to define the nostril because the Krampus has very like protruding nostrils like that. So even though this is a cute version, I still want it to be, you know, a little bit on the scary side. Still want it to have elements from the original creature. So defining the nostril kind of helps to give it that look that's a little more menacing. Like if you were angry and you were going to flare out your nostrils, like this really helps to accentuate it. And I did this in my other Krampus look as well. I'm going to use this color from the Sugar Pill palette right on top just to, oh, I thought that would soften it. Oh, that was not a very smart choice. Oh, this is like just as strong when you pack it on, huh? Oh, whoops. So now I just gotta blend it out, I suppose. I gotta do it to both sides, otherwise it won't match. Then I'm just using some of the orange to blend that out a little bit, but it seems to just be making it even darker. Oh god. But I actually don't hate it. I like the definition that's happening there. Just bringing that around. I think I might even add a little touch of white just to the nostril to make it stand out a little bit more. And then just adding a little bit of the orange under that white, kind of around my nostrils. And you'll see that makes it look like I've got my nostrils flared, but I don't hate that for the Krampus. That's kind of what I want. For the lid, I was considering using Juno from the Waiting Room palette, but I kind of want to have a little bit of red in there as well. So I think I'm going to go first in with Lydia, which is this color here. Juno, you can see it's like almost a mix between gold and silver. I can't explain this color. It's like a very warm silver. Maybe. But I'm gonna go in with Lydia first, and I'm just using my finger just because I've got some on my finger just because I was swatching, but I know that this performs really well with a brush, so I'm gonna switch to that. I'm gonna take this on a pretty dense brush. I've used this brush with this eyeshadow before and it packs it on pretty well. And I'm just gonna do that kind of on the outer portion, blending it in, but I don't want this whole area to just be red. I'm just kind of gonna use that as a base, and then I'm gonna go in with Juno on top. So I'm just going to pack that on and see how that looks. That makes it kind of look gold, which is weird. I guess because I've got the warm red underneath, but it just kind of makes it look gold a little bit. I think the warmth of the red makes the warmth of Juno stand out, so I might go in with a different color to kind of cool it down a bit. And I'm getting fallout from this, and I don't want any fallout, but yeah, I don't hate that combo. To cool the silver down a little bit and to add a little more oomph, I'm going to use the House Labs Glam Attack in the color Flash, and I'm just going to dot that right here close to the inner corner and then blend it out with a little brush. That does cool it down a bit. Then for the innermost corner, I really want to accentuate that. So I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Starlit Diamond Powder in the color 101. This is just a very, very shimmery, kind of almost like a micro glitter. And this one is pure white. If you never use these Starlit Diamond Powders, they are so shiny. It's insane. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but the shine on them is so fine. And I probably should have put a sticky base here because it's kind of getting everywhere and I don't want that. But you can see that even on white, it's still super, super freaking reflective. Yeah, I probably should have put a base down first. You can use something like the NYX Glitter Primer. Let me use that real quick on the other side, and I'll just show you what that's like. I'm going to apply just a thin layer, don't need a ton, just where you want it to really stick, and then just patting it down right on top. Okay, yeah, that's a much better idea. Okay, I've really turned down the exposure just so you can see just how shiny that is. It is insane. Like, in person, these Starlit Diamond Powders look incredible. Now I'm just going to further deepen around my eyes, again dipping into the color Obituary, and I'm going to apply that real close to my bottom lash line. I just want to add more definition around the eyes, and I'm also going to take that into my crease as well in the outer corner. You can see that just deepens everything a little bit without going too dark. Like, I don't want to add black in here. I want to keep this in the reds, but you can still have a lot of intensity even if you don't add black. Now I'm very close to being done, but I realize I haven't done the eyebrows yet, so I want to go ahead and do them. I'm just going to very gently brush them up, and I want to try something that I saw on Instagram the other day. I saw Sarah Wren from Milk Makeup using the Schwarzkopf Got to Be glued to stick her eyebrows up, and this stuff is like literal glue. So I'm just going to grab a little bit on a spoolie. Gonna take the excess off on the back of my hand. Before I fill my brow in, I'm just going to use this to shape it. I have no doubt that this is excellent for holding your brows. I do want to make my brows like as bushy as humanly possible because the Krampus is very, very hairy and whatnot. So I want to make my brows look very wild. But I'm also being careful not to lift the white that's underneath, trying not to touch my skin with the spoolie. I have the advantage that when I spike my brows up, like all the way up, they kind of curve like this right at the arch. And I think that looks pretty wicked and pretty Krampus-like. So I'm making sure I keep that little curve in them. And now I'm going to go in and fill the brows with the Melt 125 Years Gel Liner. This is from the Beetlejuice collection. It's a gray gel liner and it's a warm tone gray, but I'm using this because I'm going to have a white wig and so I don't want to go too dark with my brows. So I'm just going to go ahead and just draw in some more brow hairs. This might be a little too warm now that I look at it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I really want to make the start here really fluffy. Maybe I should have filled them in before I spiked them up, but because now they're like super stiff and I can't really get behind them, but it's fine. I'm just doing strokes going up like so. Yeah, maybe I should have filled this in before spiking them, but you live and learn. Okay, I did go a little bit crazy with the brows, but that's what I was going for. I wanted something really bushy, really hairy, and I don't mind the color of them at all. I think they're great. They're not too dark. Now, I think I'm gonna do the lips, but I'm still not quite finished with the eyes. Still gotta do liner, lashes, and then see if I need to darken it up a little bit more. And I also have to do freckles. Can't forget about freckles. But I'm going to do the lips first. And I think for the lips, I'm going to go in with the Ink of Elation liquid lipstick in the color Maraschino. No, before anyone comments, I don't pronounce it maraschino because it's an Italian word. So maraschino, even though I know Americans pronounce it maraschino. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good color. I tried 3 different reds on the back of my hand. Although I'm still undecided if this one or Nurse from Sugar Pill. I know that Nurse leans a little bit warmer. Now that it's on my lips, I'm like, oh, let me see. Honestly, trying it on your lips is the best way. So I'm going to try Nurse from Sugar Pill. This one seems really dark for some reason, even though it's not dark at all. It's very, very similar to Maraschino. I honestly think that either one works. I'm gonna go with my first choice. I think they both work. I just haven't used this one in a long time and it's the red that I really, really love. So for these lips, I'm going to overdraw them and also extend the outer corner so there's a little point. So it's going to look almost like a Joker lip. And then, oh, I think I did the Cupid's bow really pointy. Let me check. I have to look back on my other Krampus look. But yeah, I think I did a very angled Cupid's bow. Okay, I think I might repeat it for this look as well. Okay, as you can see, I've done a very exaggerated shape, but I think it works really well, especially with the really exaggerated eyebrows. But I do think that it might read a little dark in comparison to the rest, and I want to warm it up a little bit. So I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Artist Rouge Glowing Ginger lipstick, and this one looks like an orange, but it reads a lot more red. And I'm just going to use that in the center. I think that'll match up with what I've got going on up here a little bit better, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that does brighten it up a little bit. This lipstick smells so good. Now I'm going to move on to freckles, and I think I'm going to do 2 different colors of freckles, but I'm going to start with the white, and I'm going to be using the Suva Beauty Hydro Liner in the color Space Panda. This is a water activated liner, so you just need a couple drops of water, and then you swish it around to activate it, and I'm going to do freckles of different sizes. Starting off in the red area because that's where they're going to show up the most. I know this is probably going to seem like a mushroom look, and you totally could adapt this and do like a cute little mushroom look. You guys know I love me some little mushrooms. If you haven't seen me draw tiny mushrooms around my eyes, I highly recommend watching the Raw Beauty Christy and ColourPop collaboration video right here where I reviewed it, and I did teeny tiny mushrooms on my eyes. But I'm just going to do this kind of all over. And one thing that I do want to do to add more of a painterly look to this is I'm just going to trace around my nostril. And I know this sounds super weird, but it just gives like a little highlight right there. that just makes it look kind of like a painting. And I know that's super weird, like why would you highlight your nostril? Like your literal nostril hole, but it just makes it look like a painting. And since I'm going for that painterly look, figured why not. I'm also bringing this onto the white area as well. Because I used some gray to contour, you still get a bit of contrast, so the freckles are still visible. And I'm just gonna keep doing that all over. I'm also gonna do some on my chin as well. I think I'm gonna do some gray ones using the liner, but just close to the eyes. Although this liner might be a little too light for that actually. But let's see. Let's see if it works. Kind of works. I'll do them just close to the eyes. I won't bring them out too much. Now I'm going to do my waterline, and I'm using the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the color Exit. It's just a white. I haven't tried this one yet, so I figured I would try it out today. And let's see just how white it is. Let's see if it compares to the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. I don't think this one is as opaque because it's mixing with the red and it's coming out like a pale pink, so I might switch over to the Jumbo Pencil. That one never fails me. So switching over to the NYX Jumbo Pencil in the color Milk. Oh yeah, instantly you can see that one's way whiter. There's a reason this product is a cult favorite. Boom. Now I'm going to use the white mascara from ColourPop. The color is Little White Lie, and I'm going to saturate both my bottom and top lash line with this. I really like the look of white lashes against red eyeshadow, so that's what I'm going for today. I'm sure this look would work with traditional black eyelashes, but I planned it to have white lashes just because I really like that contrast. The contrast with the red eyeshadow. And I know I don't quite have red eyeshadow on my top lid, and so the contrast isn't that huge. Like if I had dark red on my lid, this would work a bit better. I might do a little bit of a liner there using the dark red across my top lash line just so there's a bit more of a contrast. Yeah, I probably should do that. So I'm gonna wait for this to dry. I'm gonna do that on this side since I haven't done the mascara yet. I'm gonna take this Sugar Pill shadow on the little pencil brush, and then I'm just going to pat that along my lash line, kind of like a liner. And then I think since I've got this palette here, I'm gonna use this brown as well, just to deepen that a little bit more, and that'll give a bigger contrast against the white lashes. I'm gonna go ahead and do that on this side too. You can already tell it's going to help a lot. Now just for final touches, I think I will use a little bit of the color Madrid from Ink of Elation. It's a darker red. I'm gonna use that just around the corners of the lips. I'm gonna take that on my little brush, and I'm gonna use that just to give a little bit of depth. Just because I didn't use a liner or anything, I like going with a darker color around the edges, and that just gives a tiny bit more depth. I'm gonna do that on top and bottom. Now for a last touch on the lips, I'm just going in with some clear gloss. I'm using the Tower 28 Chill Lip Jelly, and I wish I had a gloss with like silver glitter running through it, but I can't seem to find any. I think all the glosses that I have, the glitter in them tends gold, so I'm just gonna use a clear gloss, and I'm gonna pop that right in the center. And this just adds a little more texture to the look, which is always good considering the color palette is so limited. Now I just need to put on my ears and my lashes. And for the ears, I believe these are the Werewolf Ears by Witchy. I just painted them with some face paint. They were painted black previously, so I just did a layer of white on top and just kind of left these shaded areas. And I'm just going to slip them on, and I'm not gonna bother, oh, that matches really well, but I'm not gonna bother gluing them down because I'm gonna have the wig and everything, so this area is going to be covered up. If I was wearing this out, I would probably glue the ears down so that they don't fall off, but since I'm just filming and taking pictures, I don't need this to be super secure, and they fit really snug on my ears as is. And for the lashes, I took a pair from BH Cosmetics and I painted them white. I really need to buy some white lashes. I don't know why I don't have any, but I painted them white using some white face paint, and then I did a coat of the white mascara as well. So I'm gonna pop these on, put on my outfit and my ears, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. And this is the finished look. I almost forgot I had to put fangs on as well, and these are my super long ones, so I keep getting lipstick on them, which is a little annoying, but I think it really ties the whole look together. The base for this look can really be used for anything. Like I said, you could turn this into like a little cute mushroom look, but with the addition of all the accessories and everything, I have turned this into a Krampus. The horns I just got from Amazon. The hat is from a small business. It's a 2-woman owned operation, and they're based out of LA. I'm gonna leave them linked down below. They're called Blackthorn LA, and they make really cute loungewear, and they also have some accessories. The PJs that I'm wearing that have the cutest little Krampuses? Krampi? I don't know the plural of Krampus. This adorable little PJ is from Sprout on Etsy, and that is a 1-woman owned shop. I absolutely love her stuff. If you watch my Beetlejuice video, you'll have seen my little skeleton earrings are from her shop as well. This wig is from Arta Wigs. I don't remember the name right now, but I'm gonna try to find it and I'll leave it linked down below. And that is about it. I'm gonna take these out because it's really uncomfortable to talk with fangs in. Also, if they look nasty along the edges, there's nothing stuck in them or anything. It's just the putty that you put in them to mold them to your teeth. It has like yellowed, and so it just makes them not look great. I'm gonna 100% Photoshop that out in the final pictures. But anywho, I am pretty happy with this look. I feel like this is like the younger, bubbly sister to my previous Krampus look. I think they're both adorable, but this one, I don't know, I just feel like she's more bubbly, she's more festive, she's got her festive PJs on. I don't know. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering how I have the horns through the hat, they're a headband and I just have them over the hat. So it looks pretty weird, but it works for its intended purpose. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little Krampus video. Let me know what you thought. Which one's your favorite? This one or last year's? I don't know, honestly. Last year's one does have a special place in my heart, but I don't know. This one's growing on me. So let me know down below which one's your favorite. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons who support me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.